Welcome to Unraveling Education, the podcast that's part storytelling, part information, and part whodunit. We'll be investigating the underlying issues harming the public education system and identifying the key players involved.
Hello, I'm Danielle Ford, former trustee of the Clark County School District, which includes Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm also now a candidate for the Nevada State Board of Education. In this special election episode, I'll explain why I semi-impulsively decided to run, and I will tell you the details of my race. I'll showcase 3 candidates who are running for the Clark County School Board, who I believe would bring much needed positive change to the entire school district. Then we'll go over some election info and ways to get involved with campaigns. Okay, I know that I said multiple times in various episodes that I would run for something again in the future, but that it wouldn't be soon. But now I'm kind of sort of running for Nevada State Board of Education, District 3, and it happened out of nowhere, I swear. Okay, here's how it went down. It was a Saturday, the weekend right in the middle of the 2-week filing period for the upcoming 2024 election, and I'm just minding my own business. I'm out for a walk on a nice sunny day, and my friend Anna Binder texts me. Anna is running for school board trustee, and I'm helping her with her campaign, and this has been planned for a long time. Anna had not filed for the seat yet due to her schedule and other people's schedules who wanted to be there to support her, so she decided to file on the second to last day of filing, a Thursday, and obviously I planned to attend. So I'm on my walk, getting my vitamin D, and then ping, text from Anna. She says, "Yo, no one has filed for Felicia Ortiz's state board seat, and I believe she's in your district." I respond, She says, "Right?" Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Anna adds, "She's termed out." I respond, "Let's put a pin in this for now, keep it to ourselves, and see what happens and where my ADHD goes Thursday." Anna replies, "You got it!" Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. So first of all, I had no idea that Felicia Ortiz's seat was up for election or that she was termed out, meaning that she cannot run again. She's still serving her first elected term, but she had originally been appointed to the state board by former Governor Brian Sandoval, and I don't think many other people realized that this seat was open either. So I start thinking to myself, and I'm like, I have told so many people that I'm definitely not running in 2024. I'd even been approached over the past year by a few groups suggesting that I run for various positions and that they would help me win. For some of these, I would have had to move to a different area a couple months before filing. And I just said, no, it's not the right time for me. I'm launching a podcast. I'm focused on my health. I don't want to move away from my son's school in the middle of his senior year. I was planning to reevaluate closer to the 2026 election and consider if there was a seat that I wanted to run for at the state level, probably assembly, maybe Senate, but for now, just help with CCSD school board races and try to flip the power dynamic on the board. So that's why I made a quick video to serve as some sort of proof. I don't know, but here's a clip.
It's March 9th, 2024, and I wanted to document my thoughts really quick. I just learned that Felicia Ortiz, the person who's been on the Nevada State Board, is termed out, and I happen to be in that district. I had no intention of running for anything. Still don't really. I'm gonna wait and see what happens, but now I'm thinking, since I'm already involved in campaigns that basically cover the entirety of the district that I would be running in for the entire state, maybe I just go with the flow, because that's kind of what I'm doing, is trusting my intuition right now and waiting to see what doors open. And while I'm focused on the podcast and my business programs, kind of just feeling like the next thing to do. I'm still on the just barely pondering what would that look like, the possibility of running for the seat.
So then I keep thinking to myself, and I'm like, if I had known that this seat was open, I probably would have decided to go for it, and I would have already been campaigning for it this whole time. Like, this is the natural next step for me, especially with everything that I'm covering with the podcast and the direction that I intend to take the podcast. The state board oversees all schools in Nevada, public schools, charter schools, private schools, and homeschool. It's responsible for the things that need to change and trickle down through all Nevada districts. For instance, student testing requirements and data and reporting mandates and all the hoops that educators have to jump through. And it's the state board that most influences legislators on education issues. Like, it just makes sense. Oh yeah, and no one has signed up to run. So I'm thinking I could possibly be the only one to sign up and just win the seat uncontested. Or even if just one other person signs up, then I won't have to participate in the primary election in June, which takes the field down to 2 because we would already be there. Also, I have acquaintances and allies on the state board. I like the current state superintendent of education, and it would be nice to be on a board where the other members and the superintendent aren't constantly conspiring against me, and I could put my energy towards solutions instead of fighting everybody. Like, what would that be like? Also, this is literally the same district as my trustee district. If you are familiar with Clark County trustee districts, District 3 for the state encompasses all of districts F and E and a little bit of C and A. And the areas in District A that are in 3 used to be in District F when I was on the board. So I was the elected education representative for the majority of people in District 3 only a year-ish ago. Also, I'm already going to be helping in several of those trustee races that have overlap with voters in District 3. So again, I'm thinking like it just makes sense to be on the state board representing this area. But I was not thrilled about the idea of campaigning for the next 8 months. So Sunday night, I came to an agreement with myself. Myself told myself that on Thursday, when I go to the government center to support Anna, that if either 0 people or 1 person has signed up to run, I will sign up and then just hope that nobody else signs up that final day so that I could just take the seat or just go directly to the general election in November. But then Monday, I checked the election website and someone had signed up to run and the name was shocking. I was like, what? How can this even be? Okay, are you thinking that it's Lola Brooks? It's not Lola Brooks, but Lola is in District E, which is in 3, and she's not running for re-election to the CCSD School Board. Also, she's friends with Felicia Ortiz. So when I learned that Felicia Ortiz couldn't run again, I was kind of wondering if Lola planned to take her place. But Lola did not sign up, so I'm still holding on to the theory that I've had for a while now about Lola Brooks' next step, which I believe is to become an official student-focused outcomes governance coach, working under AJ Crabill to train Nevada boards in being good board members, which includes the state board. And if that happened, if I joined the state board and Lola was my governance trainer, that would be hilarious. Like, I would never, ever run out of podcast content, ever. If you're wondering what I'm talking about and you're like, this is so much drama, I need to know everything, then check out the episode, Houston, We Have a Problem, and you'll be all caught up. Okay, so for the actual person who signed up for the race and who's now my main opponent and whose name I was shocked to see, that is Renee Cantu. And the reason it was shocking to see his name running for District 3 is that he was elected in 2020 to the state board and is currently a member, but for District 4. So I see his name and I do like a double take. And then another double take. I did a quadruple take. I legit wondered if this was a typo. Did the election office glitch out? How can somebody be sitting on the board for one district and concurrently be a candidate for that same board, but in a different district? Per the law, you have to live in the district that you serve in, and if you move out, you forfeit your seat. And to run in a district, you have to live there for 30 days prior. So then I remembered that 2020 was the census, and based on that data, everything is redistricted and new lines are drawn. For trustee districts, they can't redistrict a seated trustee out, but state board districts are based on congressional districts, and the Congress member cannot be redistricted out, but a state board member unfortunately can and was. So I have empathy for Renee about being redistricted out. I would not like that if that happened to me. And a similar thing did happen to me. In fact, District F had a ton of growth while I was on the board, and a ton of projected growth over the next decade. So when lines were redrawn in 2021, I lost 60,000 of my constituents / potential voters whose votes had helped me win in 2018. So the fact is that Rene Cantu is currently on the Nevada Board of Education, but he's not the incumbent and he's not running for re-election for District 3. It's an open seat. And while this small detail won't matter so much to voters, it definitely matters to PACs and groups whose endorsement includes money to advertise to voters and people to knock on doors and make phone calls asking for votes. In the political world, running against an incumbent who's up for re-election is a kind of aggressive move. And it's considered bad form for established political groups to not support the incumbent. The incumbent would have to be really loathed by a group to not receive the endorsement or support. Now, I don't believe that anyone is ever entitled to a seat, even an incumbent, but many in political spaces do. So if that is going to be the conversation, who is the most incumbent-y person in this race, there's an argument to be made that it is Rene Cantu because he's currently on the state board representing North Las Vegas in District 4. And there's an argument to be made that the most incumbent-y candidate is me, Danielle Ford, because I was the elected CCSD School Board trustee for most of District 3 very recently. So listen, if anyone hears anything about Rene Cantu being the incumbent or to re-elect to District 3, please correct the source. And then really the comments end there because as far as I know, and I think that's pretty far, Rene is a good dude and a solid board member. I was actually kind of bummed that it wouldn't be possible to serve on the board with him. I intend to run a clean campaign and I believe that he does as well. So I did sign up on Thursday and it looked like it was going to be smooth sailing through the primary election and into the general, but alas, a third person entered the race in the last 30 minutes on the final day of the filing period. Obviously, I support the democratic process and all that, but now there are 3 people in the race, and I will be on the ballot in June for the primary election. I haven't looked too much into the third candidate, and I know better than to underestimate anyone, but I believe that Rene and I are each other's strongest opponent. So back to endorsements really quick. The ink had barely dried on my signature line before CCEA, the Clark County Teachers Union, led by John Villardita, who loathes me, announced their endorsement of my opponent, Rene Cantu. They could have at least pretended to hold a fair endorsement process and interview me or send me a survey or flip a coin that has a head on both sides or something, but no. So CCEA will give $10,000 of their members' dues directly to Rene for his campaign. And they will also spend hundreds of thousands of dollars more towards his marketing and their other endorsed candidates' marketing through CCEA's political PAC, Strategic Horizons. We will talk more about PACs and endorsements very soon. I already had that planned to line up with elections. In fact, I'm really happy about how all of this went down because now I know for sure that none of the podcast content thus far or what's coming down the line is influenced whatsoever, even subconsciously, by my candidacy. I'm not changing anything, not the order of content, the naming of people, the PACs, the billionaires that fund them, nothing. So before I was thinking that it was good that I was on this side, not in the political web as a candidate or an elected official, because it allows me to just not care at all who I piss off or what people say or anything. But now I'm a candidate and I still do not care. I do not care if I lose the race. And don't get me wrong, I want to win, and I'm going to try to win. I think I would be a valuable addition to the Nevada Board of Education. But if I don't win, I will just be like, okay, I am completely detached from outcomes. Now let's talk about the races that I am not detached from. I am attached AF to these outcomes. I probably should do some inner work on that, but that's for a different day. We got 3 CCSD elections to win. This year, 4 out of 7 of the Clark County School Board seats are up for election. This is a major opportunity to elect pro-public education candidates who will fix the governance policies that have silenced the trustees and the voters who they represent, and who will bring positive changes to the fifth largest school district in the country. It's been over 25 years since the majority of the CCSD School Board was truly publicly elected and community-focused, and not bought and puppeteered by outside individuals aiming to destroy our school district. These are the most important elections right now, even more important than my race for the Nevada Board of Education. First up is Anna Binder running for CCSD School Board Trustee in District A, which consists of most of Henderson, Boulder City, Laughlin, and Searchlight. Anna and I met by fighting with each other in Facebook comments. So when someone tells you that nothing good ever comes from arguing with strangers on the internet, know that they are lying to you. Beautiful things can emerge. Friendships are sometimes formed. Those friendships can grow into campaigns for political office. So if you take anything from this, let it be to argue with strangers on the internet. During school shutdowns, the parent advocating the most for reopening on behalf of all parents was Anna Binder. From rallying parents to give hours of public comments virtually, to showing up when in-person board meetings started again, demanding support for students with IEPs, pushing for sports to restart, speaking to reporters, and consistently keeping the public informed. Anna was there every step of the way as we got back to normal. And then she kept it up. Anna was appointed to the CCSD School Board's Zoning Committee and the Financial Audit Committee. She wasn't well liked by some people who run the financial department and that committee, but that's for another episode. Anna also has this mysterious ability to simultaneously piss everyone off and charm them and win them over and over again. Like, I'm very good at both of those things, but only one of those things per person. It's like everyone likes Anna, even if for some it's more like hate to love her, love to hate her, but either way it's still positive. You know what I mean? But it's not like that for me. Nobody goes, oh yeah, Danielle, love to hate her, hate to love her. Everyone's chosen one of those things. Or did I choose it for them? Do I need a better personality? Anna also serves on about 1,000 education committees for the state of Nevada and the city of Henderson. Like, okay, I get it. You do all the things, and you know all the things. Yes, you deserve a seat on the school board. I'm a voter who lives in Henderson and the surrounding areas, and I'm going to vote for you, Anna Binder, for trustee for District A, on or before June 11th. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, it's like that. Next, we have Tamika Henry running for CCSD School Board Trustee for District C, which is North Las Vegas and includes the historic West Side. I first met Tamika when she was planning to run for the same seat a little over 4 years ago. She was new to being a candidate and wanted insight and help with marketing since I had ran and won my first election myself. And this was not too long after I went viral nationally for being racist, and most of the Black community still hated me, so we were kind of like, maybe we don't disclose that I'm helping you behind the scenes. And if you don't know what I'm talking about and you're like, wait, hold on, what did you just say? Then I suggest the episode Racism in Schools, which is an interview with Akiko Cooks and Deshante Marshall, who are the ones who actually connected Tamika and I. Life is so crazy. Even though this is the official record of the first time Tamika and I met, I know that our paths have crossed before. The moment I sat down, I said, I know you. I've talked to you, like a lot, I think. She had no recollection. Then I went through all the places that we could have met and finally got to Accelero Learning Head Start, which my kids attended over a decade earlier when they were toddlers. Tamika confirmed that she worked there during that time, and we discovered that we are both passionate about early learning programs, especially Head Start. And then glimpses of images of memories started popping up in my mind, and I tried for about 15 minutes to get her to remember meeting me. Okay, I'm seeing a park. It's a splash pad park. It's very hot outside. Some sort of family event. Did you have a family event for Head Start families at a splash pad park? She says yes. All right. Okay, I'm seeing blue. Some sort of blue treat. Perhaps popsicles? Wait. There were hot dogs. There were definitely hot dogs. We were sitting across from each other at a picnic table. I'm like, are you getting anything? Is this triggering any memories? She's like, no. I gave up trying to tap into the memory for that meeting, but I have not completely given up. And I'm certain that if that memory was essential to like solving a cold case or something, that a professional hypnotist who had been contracted by the FBI could retrieve it. They'd be like, Danielle, count backwards from 10. Now stop looking at the hot dogs for a second. What was the murderer wearing? No. Ignore the blue dessert that may or may not be popsicles. The man covered in blood, what color was his shirt? And I am certain that if I was put through that exercise, I would not be any help to solve the murder, but I would know for sure that those blue things were popsicles, and I'd maybe be able to recall what Tamika and I had talked about at that picnic table. Anyway, I ended up designing Tamika's brand, building her website, and running her online ads. She made it through the primary election, and she almost won the general election. It was the closest call ever. It was very upsetting. We underestimated the strength of her opponent, who is currently the board president and very well funded and connected and running again for re-election. That person is Evelyn Garcia Morales, and of course we'll be talking more about her. But we're focusing on Tamika. She is Amazeballs. She has a nonprofit called the Adobo Collective, which serves her community in many ways, including providing a community garden in the middle of a food desert. Tamika does so many things. I can't even name them all, but she's always everywhere. She's at every event, in publications, in my hazy memories. If you're in Vegas and you have not yet noticed Tamika Henry before now, you will. You know when you get a new car and then you see the exact car every time you turn a corner? It's that. Except for your car, it's Tamika's face. Last up, we have Camila Bywaters running for CCSD trustee of District E, which is Summerlin and West Las Vegas. Camila is a licensed special education teacher, a doctoral student, and president of the Las Vegas Alliance of Black School Educators. She's a defender of public education and is desperately needed in this fight against privatization that is happening in Nevada. The main reason I'm helping and supporting her, though, is that I'm scared of her. I'm only half joking. Now, she's an absolute sweetheart, highly educated, intuitive, and passionate. And you do not want to be in the middle of Camila and someone doing wrong by kids. No sirree. We need somebody Camila level scary on the board. That's called balance. And I know this because I have witnessed Camila show up and speak up at school board meetings for years. She does her research on agenda items, she brings relevant facts, and offers viable solutions. And despite being ignored and publicly mocked by the majority of the board and JARA over and over again for years, Camila kept showing up and kept speaking out to the media, and then she signed up to win a seat and demand to finally be listened to. So those are the three candidates that I'm supporting. I'm planning to have Anna, Tamika, and Camila on as guests before the primary election, or possibly host a Q&A or something like that. So let me know in the YouTube comments what questions you would like me to ask. You can find the links to their and my websites in the descriptions on YouTube and podcast platforms or on the individual episode page. In Nevada, early voting is open from May 25th to June 7th, and the primary election is June 11th, 2024. And now I have a few asks of you. First, producing Unraveling Education takes a lot of work and tech and software, and it's dependent on donations from viewers and listeners. To support the podcast, visit unravelingeducation.com/sponsor. There are many ways to support, and everything helps. Next, Anna, Tamika, Camila, and I are all seeking donations for our campaigns. You can find links to help us win our elections in the description and that same webpage as well. Also, consider volunteering for any campaigns. There are lots of ways to help, from knocking doors to making phone calls to addressing envelopes or helping with admin. Most importantly, make sure that you're registered to vote and that you know your voting locations. And lastly, share this episode with your friends and on social media, especially with anyone who lives in any of those voting areas. All of these things add up. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be doing more special election episodes periodically throughout the campaign season. Here we go. Meow, go to my mom. You're my mom's friends. It's a big thing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Look at it. It's perfect. Oh my God. It's gorgeous. You're gorgeous. Stop it. You're beautiful. You're perfect size. You're so beautiful. You are.